Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new bit called Ryan's Childhood in a Nutshell. Today's topic, horror movies.
Wow, she's hot! Wait, why does he just get a hockey mask? Wow, she's hot! Wait, why didn't they just leave town and go eat some potato chips or something? Wow, she's hot! Protect me, SpongeBob. You're the only one who knows how to help me. I shit you not, guys. I used to watch a bunch of horror movies as a child, and not a single one of them scared me. I watch Bert and Ernie sleeping, and I go ape shit. Not even traumatizing. They were just sleeping. But their snoring noises in my kid brains were the sounds of Satan stabbing a man. And then I saw Child's Play, and I was never the same again. And Slappy the Dum Dum. Thanks, Slappy the Dum Dum, for truly ruining my childhood till I rewatched it and it was a midget in a costume and I laughed. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Ryan Reacts. Today we're checking out another suggestion video, and that suggestion is by Eli Newman, who writes, "Hey Ryan, react to YMS, Your Movie Sucks, Childhood Trauma, start with part 1. Of course folks, check out the original link and more for original content creator, link in the description. I don't know if I'm gonna do the full series of this. It really kind of depends on how much you guys like this series. Mostly views though. Usually if something gets past 1,000 views, I will watch the rest of it because I know there's interest there. They're really just scared because checkered shirts? Disgusting.
Was there ever a show that you watched as a child that left you absolutely traumatized? Perhaps it was a movie that gave you recurring nightmares for several years. Was there ever a seemingly normal and child-friendly TV show that you trusted that all of a sudden produced something that was terrifying to watch? Well,
nope,
welcome to
never
the
trusted
I've got a
Goosebumps.
video full of this bullshit.
They openly said,
Man,
I knew Arnold was dumb, but not that dumb.
Man, I didn't know baby Adam was such a beta pussy.
But with other items featured in this video, I think you'll get a pretty good understanding of just why they affected me in this way. The shows that made it onto this video are ones that kept me up at night when I was just a little baby boy. So this is not one of my
and I had the Benjamin Button disease and also a disease where my color my skin changed.
Consider this to be more like a bunch of mini YMS reviews all centered around the same theme. So without further ado, allow me to revisit the dark and painful repressed memories that I buried deep down so very long ago.
Before he starts up, I did want to say that a lot of times back in the 90s, horror and kid stuff went hand in hand, and there was a lot less caring than there is now. They're really worried about spooking kids nowadays when it comes to cartoons. But back when I was growing up, I was born in 91, so pretty much as 90s as 90s gets. You had Goosebumps, Afraid of the Dark, and Courage the Cowardly Dog. All shows that technically, if you watch back, are very not scary. But when you're a kid, absolutely terrifying. And to be honest, there's one episode of Goosebumps that still gives me the willies today. It's the one where they have, there's these masks, and she puts on a mask, and she can't take off the mask. That is a claustrophobic nightmare. I'm not even that claustrophobic, but the thought of it, this stuffy mask pressed up against your face, because the whole episode she sounds like this. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Thank God I am not into BDSM, because those latex masks are the thing of nightmares. Thanks, Goosebumps. A whole kink genre down the tubes for me. But even with movies, they didn't care about scaring children. And to be honest, looking at what children like nowadays, or in the 2010 range, it kind of really hasn't changed. Because now, even though shows are different, kids frickin' love scary video games. Five Nights at Freddy's exploded because children absolutely ate up the horror aspect of it. Hello Neighbor? That's another one. Bendy and the Ink Machine? That's another one. Kids love scary shit. It's the reason why they love Halloween as well.
films. This PG-rated family fantasy adventure film was a
Well,
lot better in
I'm
my
not scared,
memory
but
than
sad is
revisiting it
certainly a
as an
word I would
adult.
use to describe
I
this.
like the concept, and Robin Williams definitely helped make things a lot better, but overall, it's
Andy
just
looked like
kinda
Jesus.
dumb,
Jesus
and
Williams.
The overabundance of 1995 computer-generated effects doesn't really help the movie age all that well either. Now, how exactly this
They
film
look
wound
like
up
they
giving
drawn
me
in some
nightmares
monkeys.
is actually pretty simple. It planted terrifying fantasy concepts
Whoa!
into my fragile little brain.
Speaking of
Pretty much no matter what number
fetishes.
you roll in this board game spawns something in your immediate vicinity that only has interest in fucking murdering you. Yep, that's a family movie if I've ever seen one.
Here
I was
in
about to say what
Jumanji,
monkey
we've
would do
got
that,
fun
then
for
I
the whole
realized every
family.
monkey.
Your kids are gonna love
Every
it
monkey
so
would
much
do
they'll
that.
be screaming, "Mom, Dad, please help me! I don't want to die."
Alright, so let's see. We've got ominous, creepy drums that lure children to the board game, followed by a child screaming for his life as he gets sucked into a fucking vortex. Then we've got giant killer mosquitoes, which we later learn can send
That's
you
how I
into a
lost my
permanent
brother.
seizure with just one bite. Then we've got creepy CG monkeys.
Boy, I
that
do
want
not
to
remember
murder
this
you.
movie at
We've
all.
got a lion.
Run, Poopa, move it! Hey!
Then we learn that the mosquitoes could easily pierce through your fucking skull. Then we've got someone's fetish. This thing
That's
fucking
my joke,
terrified me.
buddy!
Then we've got gun-wielding psychopath who immediately wants
I
to kill
approve.
you. Apparently,
Time-wise,
you can't even reason
you said
with
it
him.
first.
Then we've got
Stampede!
Then the boy turns into an
I
ugly
really
monkey
do not
child and
remember
nearly
this
gets
movie
crushed to
whatsoever.
death. Now this next whole sequence is a lot less scary and a lot more stupid. Like all of a sudden this movie just really wants to be Home Alone for some reason.
Every movie in existence wanted to
Can
be
someone
Home
please
Alone
explain
at this
to me
time.
why these characters feel as though they
Very-
need to go back to the house to continue playing the game? There is no such rule that says you need to go back to that house. Didn't you leave a bunch of things that can easily kill you there? For what reason have you decided that this house is the best place to finish the game? Also, isn't the only thing you have to do to beat the game just get to the last space?
You roll the dice to move your token. Doubles get another turn. The first player to reach the end wins.
If you all just rolled really quickly, one after the other, you could beat the game in like 30 seconds. Why don't you do that? Whatever, I guess they're going back to the house for some reason. Let's not think strategically about this in any way whatsoever. It's only our lives.
But
Shouldn't we play something?
there's Stupel no
I
Stupel.
grew up in this. It's out
Looks
there
like
that
I'm the
scares me.
Stupel. Really, the theme of the story is white people, am I
On the
right?
very next
They so
roll, they are already
stupid.
facing consequences for that decision.
We get to higher ground!
Yeah, don't break any of the windows or anything.
Nah, but what if there's windows under those windows?
So the police
How did the
officer
crocodile
conveniently
get in
kicks
here?
down the door and they just hop right off this
How did
extremely
anything get in
low
there, Ryan?
chandelier. And then we get to the one that gave me fuck tons of nightmares as
Completely
a child. I don't know what it
unrelated
is
to
about
the-
thought
the
of sinking
game.
through the floor, but something
It's
about it
literally
was
just they had a
absolutely
crocodile in their
terrifying to me.
basement.
Perhaps it has to do with how absolutely
name was
helpless
Phil.
you would be. And if that wasn't bad enough, now you've got giant spiders to bite your fucking face
Mm.
off. Absolute nightmare.
I don't
fuel.
like their
Anyway, the
big
house splits
old
in two, they finish the
honking
game and everything
buttholes.
goes back to normal. And for some reason, they dispose of the board game in the most irresponsible way they possibly could. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about why this movie made me shit my pants, so let's move on. Next on this list is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Now, I
I've
have
always wanted to see
absolutely
this
no
movie.
idea how old I was when my parents decided to put this movie on, but however old I was, it certainly left an impression on me. This movie is kind of awful. Its only redeemable qualities are that of a time capsule to the 1970s.
Oh, I was
it's
gonna
pretty
say,
fucking
I
obvious
thought
that
the
it's a
reason it was
joke and
great
you're
is
not
'cause it's
supposed to
awful.
Take it all that seriously, but it's not funny at all, and none of it is impressive in the slightest. Basically, the joke is that it's tomatoes that are killing people. You get it? Because it's tomatoes and they're killing people, but in real life, tomatoes don't kill people unless you choke or have some sort of bizarre allergy. Ha! Man, it's so funny that tomatoes are killing
Tomato
people.
sauce
at
slowly
first I
kills
didn't
me.
Get the joke, but then I was like, oh yeah, they're tomatoes. Now, to the average viewer, there is nothing really scary about this film at all. The concept of killer tomatoes is so ridiculous and absurd that it's hard to take any of it seriously at all. That is, for the mind of an adult at least. When it comes to the mind of a developing brain that has yet to distinguish between implausible and laughably implausible fantasy horror, it might
And
just scare the
wacko.
shit out of them and induce several nightmares. I don't know, Killer Tomatoes seemed about as plausible as Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, so why not? When you're taught to believe things like making a stupid face
I'm
too
afraid of a
often
plush
will make it
animal
stuck
moving
that
its
way. It
hand
makes
slightly to the
otherwise
right, so a
preposterous
rolling tomato is
concepts
more
a lot
dangerous than
more
anything I had.
believable, especially when my face did get stuck that way. The mind of a child is not only manipulable to begin with, but it is conditioned to believe the unbelievable. trouble. There's a fat man that
Fat
breaks
bald
into your
man
house
sucked
every
my
year and
nose!
leaves you presents. There's a lady that breaks into your house to steal your teeth in exchange for Canadian currency. There's a goddamn bunny that breaks into your house to leave you candy. When you grow up, you can be anything you want if you set your mind to it. One day, if you pray hard enough, it will find someone that makes you happy. The skills you learn in...
Hey, you know what I just realized? The Easter Bunny and Santa Claus are like those kids who go to a birthday party and then everyone pays attention to those kids because they're so crazy. They're just getting everyone's attention, and then the birthday boy back there is just like, "Hey guys, it's my birthday. I just want to..." Shut up! Can't you see the fat freaking man throwing presents at us? Jeez, what's his deal?
What's funny about this movie is I'm pretty sure my parents turned it off within like 5 minutes anyway. All I remember is this opening scene.
The real fear is movie magic. What can the movie magic accomplish? Everything. That could have been only someone who was allergic to tomatoes. Let's face facts.
Horrified. You can't even really tell what exactly happened, but I guess my brain filled in the rest. I guess my brain didn't manage to figure out that this is just a reversed shot of someone pushing a tomato into the sink with their fucking finger. Kind of funny how that works out, isn't it? Next on my list is an episode of Are You Afraid of the
Oh,
Dark?
hell yeah. I love the
Kids
show
who
as a
actually
kid.
wanted to shit their pants. And let me tell you, although I did wind up getting traumatized here and there, I did enjoy a good scare. Now, when JonTron covered this show, he mentioned that the episode that particularly haunted him was the Tale of Dead Man's Float. And I guess I probably didn't even see that one as a kid, 'cause
I forgot
don't really
JonTron
remember it.
did
However,
things.
there's one episode that I do remember giving me nightmares.
I don't
called
remember
The Tale
JonTron's
of the
episode on this at
Captured
all.
Souls. Now, this is something where more or less the concept
He probably
freaked me
deleted
out
it at
for
this
whatever
point. He
reason.
always
Basically, this
had in
family
his
goes to
videos that are
some
good.
weird hotel for their summer vacation. Upon arrival, things get comically weird.
It's locked. Ouch.
Hello?
You look like that kid from All That. Don't touch me.
So this creeper shows them their rooms, and our main character starts to wonder why there are mirrors everywhere. Then they start asking about his parents.
Oh, they're not here. Actually, they're off on a cruise.
You're here all alone?
Not anymore.
What kind of cruise? The kind of cruise that they don't come back. Oh!
Then
It's
she
more
finds a
sad
photo
than
of him
anything.
from the 1920s, and he's like, no,
A lot
that's
of
my
kids see their
grandfather. We
mom
just
and
look very
dad
similar."
drive
Then
away,
she
but this
finds
one?
his
Nah.
Transference
Just
of
a boat.
Energy project.
It's natural selection.
4 middle fingers later,
With a little help.
and a couple puddles of tears. This gentleman leaves
Then he
a
starts creepily
prosperous
staring
life.
at her face.
I think you're breaking up.
So if you haven't guessed, this guy's using an elaborate setup to steal their youth using the mirrors in the house. And her parents are frustratingly oblivious. I think what freaked me out the most about
Why are you
this
doing
was
it
the
to
idea
old
of
people?
something slowly
The
killing
one
you and
person
your
who has no
family,
youth.
mixed with them being too fucking stupid to do anything about it when you
Also,
try to tell
I
them
think
what's
that's Rick
going on.
James.
I mean, watching this episode now, it's all pretty fucking laughable. But hey, it gave me recurring nightmares, so it's on this list.
Look, there's something really weird going on here.
It's just the old wiring.
In a mirror.
Get this cleaned up before somebody gets hurt.
That realization that the dad literally might be stupid.
So naturally, she discovers his evil plot, and her parents are pretty much about to die of old age. She forces him back into his contraption by pointing a mirror at him, which for some reason he built with the ability to lock himself inside. Also, for some reason, he built the machine with the ability to reverse the whole process. Well, looks like the day is saved. Everyone can go home now.
I just found this out front. Any idea who it is?
No. Just looks like some sad old man.
Wow.
Why
Next
did the
up on
kid
this
want
list is
eternal life
Goosebumps,
anyways?
Another Canadian TV show aimed at children who are looking to shit their pants. Now, when I was a kid, I absolutely
just realized those were barks that whole- this whole time I've watched the whole show, I didn't realize those were spooky borks.
On VHS about a million times.
Ah!
Watching it as an adult was
Ah!
easily the most
There it
nostalgic
is!
experience
Don
of this
Rickles?
list.
Ah!
Now, for the most part, this episode is
Oh,
pretty
it's Arl
tame.
Stein.
Girl gets bullied. She decides she wants to scare people for Halloween. She winds up stealing a really scary mask, but then she can't take it off. The mask starts making
I don't
her
remember
act
her
like a
stealing.
little
Well, I
bitch.
guess she learned a lesson, huh?
Listen, don't frighten her like that. She's just a little girl.
This episode's honestly, I'm getting.
Hey, cut it out.
And if you don't stop talking, you'll get what's coming to you too.
Holy shit! I'm getting nostalgia
Right
fear
around the
really
end of
bad
the
right now. I
episode,
really
we get
hate that
into the
mask.
Real nightmare fuel.
You'll awaken them.
Oh!
Fucking terrifying, and the way they're presented with ghosting frames doesn't.
I
really
hate
help
this.
all
I
that
hate
much
it so-
either.
oh,
Now,
God,
despite
it's
how
so
terrifying
bad.
these things are, this isn't even the episode that really fucked with me. What wound up giving me the
Wait,
worst
oh,
recurring
are we
nightmares
brothers?
from Goosebumps was monster blood and more monster
Oh,
blood. Allow me to explain.
monster
Basically,
blood,
this
but
kid
that
winds up
has
having
the
to stay
sexy
in his
lady
great
in
aunt's
it that
house
I
for a
was
while.
going
So
through
naturally,
puberty when I
he starts
watched
sniffing
it, so
around
I
and dance
have an
like, "Yo, stop
excuse.
doing
Not
that."
her,
So
by
he
the
comes
way.
back with his friend and snoops around. They find a jar labeled
What can I
monster
say?
blood
I'm
with
in the
some green
gills.
goop in it and decide to open it up. This spawns a cat for some reason. And like the little shits that they are, they decide it's so cool that they're gonna steal it.
This jar hasn't been opened in years. It's not like we're stealing it.
Yet we never get the answer of what
Yeah,
monster's
officer,
blood
I
it
didn't
is.
steal this phone. I was only borrowing it until the new model comes out. They then discover that it can be used as the
What's
most
that
epic
freaking
bouncy ball of all
goosebump kid
time.
stealing shit all the time?
Okay.
I wonder if Mikey sees that car. Watch out, Mikey! There's a car!
I'm a simple man. I see a kid get hit by a car, and I feel desperately sad inside because I. Wait, is that what the bouncy balls are made of? The blood of monsters? Nice effects, dude.
So not only did you steal this
Man, it got really dark outside. I'm probably gonna be full on assaulted by a pack of masks. Because as you know, masks only go in groups.
but you're so irresponsible that you let your dog eat it. Great. The next day they find out that the monster blood has been growing with no signs of stopping. They then try to get it all gathered up, but they seem
we get
to
some
be
science
doing a
up in
really
here?
shit job. Like, do you
Can I
have
play
a
some
lid for that
science? Nope,
bathtub or
okay.
what? This shit's growing like crazy. Oh wait, maybe I should check on my dog. Oops.
Also, how do you fix this problem?
Should we go look for him? No.
Freeze?
No, first we contain the monster.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck it. On the list of priorities, trying to make sure my dog isn't eating someone is not as important as collecting the green goo. So now they're starting to fill up this bath, so they take a bit of a break, and the monster blood is now trying to eat our main character. They decide to get the fuck out of there and realize that
Why
they
isn't
screwed
that
up
goo
real
coming to
bad.
life?
Then the plot takes kind of a weird turn. Evan's great aunt comes back home and she's like, "What the fuck? I told you not to go in that room." By the way, this cat is actually some witch lady. Does that make sense? No? Ah, whatever. Fuck it.
It was almost 30
No
years
wonder
ago.
I like cats. Probably.
It was about midnight, and I smelled
not the cat part.
something coming from her room. If I'd known she was practicing dark magic, right when she hit me, she stepped.
Holy shit, them pants, boys. I'm not the only one sweating in here, you know?
The monster blood and put it back in the jar.
That's all
Then
you
I
need to
locked it
do?
up and hoped that no
A
one
small
would ever
jar
find it.
does the trick?
Oh, but someone did find it. Take them, my monster blood. Take them all. Crush them and consume them. Heavens, what's that?
Yeah!
Oh my god! This is awesome.
Nice puppy.
You know what beats cats?
The dog barks at her.
Giant
and she thinks
Godzilla dog!
She was a cat, but the dog keeps barking at her, and then she steps in the monster blood and she gets sucked right into it. Yay.
Goodbye, sexy lady. I really liked you as a kid because
Like everything is back to
I didn't have
normal.
anything else.
So now he's on a plane to go visit his parents, and he's just finished telling his friend that highly implausible story.
We put it back in the jar. We buried it where no one would ever find it. I hope you got it all. Can you imagine if a little piece had stuck to your shoe or something? That would
He
be
was
disaster.
literally covered in snot a second ago.
Oh no, oh shit, no, this is not good, oh no. Now that episode alone was enough to freak me out over the concept, but this next episode is the one that really sealed the deal. If Monster Blood was the Blob for kids, then more Monster Blood is the Blob for kids, but also Snakes on a Plane for kids.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some freaking windows.
So the flight attendants start giving out food, and we learn that this kid
Where
is
is that
allergic
from?
to
I wanna
practically
know.
everything. Meanwhile, the Monster Blood is doing shit.
Did he always just say that and I just hallucinated?
Sure did.
Oh my gosh, it's just like the
Yeah, that's right.
Berenstein
Turbulence
Bears!
isn't a thing. We
He
gotta
never
check this
swore
one out.
ever!
Scratch that. I looked it up, and apparently pilots can almost always see turbulence before they run into it. I learned something new today. I read books about smart things because I have glasses.
Giraffe. It's pretty good. Thanks.
And I have long hair and love metal.
Cool.
So this guy goes to investigate the disturbance. Hey, check it out. Apparently Goosebumps isn't even free from the black guys always die first trope. So now we're introduced to this character whose only motivation appears to be going to the bathroom.
Cause he's fat.
Guys, I think we're gonna need an instant replay on that jump scare. So instead of taking a piss like a
Kinda
normal
looks like
human
Justin
being,
McElroy.
He immediately starts rubbing soap
Nobody's
into
gonna
his
get that, but I
eyes.
said it
Man, that
anyways.
hurts. I'd better get some water on my face. Just how he didn't notice that isn't water before rubbing it all over his face is beyond me. So now there's
You
a
know
pretty
what's
big
better
lineup.
than a
He's
jar,
probably
though?
dead.
He's been in there
That big fat man.
Our
He
main
can do it.
character shows
He can
up and
handle
is
it.
like, oh shit, but apparently it was a hallucination? Whatever, doesn't matter. Feels
I
over
trusted
real.
you, fat
Fuck it.
man.
Monster Blood! What? It's here! Monster Blood, you gotta believe me. Tell the captain to land the plane.
Just relax, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to worry about.
A bat?
Nothing to worry about.
A bat. You retard, it's pronounced a boot. The flight attendant knocks on the door, there's no response. She uses a key to unlock the door, and it turns out there's nobody inside. Yeah, you dummy, we're not dealing with Monster Blood, we're dealing with a mutant who can disappear in an instant. Wow, get a load of this lady. Well, I have been standing here this whole time, and I definitely would have noticed if he came out of the bathroom, but I'm just gonna take it and run before the runs run
How would it
down my
also be
pants.
locked?
So now she finally starts wondering where the other flight attendant went. Oops. Hey, what was that noise behind this curtain that sounded like a gelatinous blob digesting an entire human being? Oh shit! All right, so shit's actually starting to get
shit,
real
free
now. No
shoes!
more cutaway bullshit leaving you wondering what happened. Now we are actually witnessing people getting sucked into and consumed by the Monster Blood. I mean, sure, a lot of the action is still out of frame and implied, but holy shit, did this ever terrify me when I was a little boy.
Not grandma!
Literally
That's gonna give her a
every
tummy
passenger
ache.
on the plane has been eaten except these kids. Was there no one sitting in front of you?
There's nothing rational about this stuff. I mean, last time Steve.
Come on, Zeke, you got this.
I think I prefer the smooch to the chunky style.
What a prankster. We're still all gonna die. And the only plausible idea I have is crashing
I
this.
guess nobody's got any better ideas.
Something's happening.
Wait!
Okay, wait a minute. Is this Goosebumps episode really just one big joke about airline food?
It's an incredible airline food makes the Monster Blood sick. I think it's to the chunky style.
Yeah, it'll eat someone's laptop, but airline food, ugh. So now they figure that if they feed it enough airline food, they might just kill it. You know what? The food
This is
cart
literally
on the
just
other end
R.L.
of the
Stein's
plane.
big
So
old
this thing
dab on
crawls through
airline
the
food.
overhead baggage compartments. Is it just me, or do these things not usually connect seamlessly from one end of the plane to the other? Also, apparently everyone on the plane didn't really feel like bringing all that much with them. So now this
Right?
thing tries to go after Curtis, but Conan jumps in to save the day.
No, Zeke!
So now these two are trying to figure out how to get the cart unstuck, and Julia comes up with a brilliant distraction.
Julia, no!
Why? I should probably mention that that trumpet was from the show and not from me. Anyway, they push the cart into the Monster Blood and it throws up all the airline food. Yay. Hey, this shot is just a mirror image of that shot from a few minutes ago. Anyway, the Monster Blood's dead and I guess everybody's okay now. Let's not even acknowledge that thing that just happened. Oh, look, a
That's how
dog.
you do. That's what you do with traumatizing experiences, bud.
what it's like to be the new kid in town.
I also know
wait,
what it's like to
hold
be
on, guys,
swallowed
I
whole
almost
and
forgot my
vomited.
jacket.
Well, that's just the most horrific thing I've seen in a long time.
So all in all, these 2 episodes of Goosebumps were cheesy as shit, especially when comparing to episodes like The Haunted Mask. But when you have the brain of a young and impressionable child, no amount of cheesiness can make these fantasy horror concepts any less terrifying. If I had a nickel for every Monster Blood themed nightmare I had when I was a kid, I'd have a lot of nickels. That's it, that's all I got.
I do agree, I do remember that episode very well as a child, but I was more afraid of Slappo. Slappo the Dum-Dum. Monster Blood didn't really affect me, mostly because I was a young child who liked slime, and I was like, wow, wee, slim, blambo! And then I saw the sexy lady, and I went, I could go for a 5. A woman on a 5 out of 10? Hell yeah, I'll take it. All I had before this was the pink Power Ranger. Woo! And then randomly they're gonna add like some woman who's like in a bikini as a villain in the next season. Nobody's gonna talk about it, but wow. I also remember the episode where the dad was like a Venus flytrap monster, and that hand scared the shit out of me. Oh, you know what else scared the shit out of me? Worms. He picked up the bed and he had worms in his bed. Scared the shit out of me that a bug could get into my bed. Do you know how many times I wake up and there's a bug on me? Every single night of my life. I live in the woods. Sooner or later, you just stop caring. You wake up and there's a bunch of worms on you? You know what? Get tiny little blankets for each worm and make sure they have a good snooze with you, and we'll deal with it in the morning, 'cause sleep's better. But boy, when I was a kid, I shit my britches. And then there's like a pit of worms that could eat them. Freaked me right out. But slimes? Not so much. Not so much. I think even back then the special effects was so garbanzo beans that it didn't affect me. But anyways, that was a quite enjoyable video. It not only was it a horror themed episode, but I'm so used to just doing those like top 10 lists where they just spit out facts instead of like someone actually talking and, you know, saying jokes. So that was actually quite enjoyable. I really did like it. And the gentleman who did these episodes had me laugh quite a bit. So fantastic YouTube channel. I know I've seen him before. The face very much rings a bell, though I don't think I've ever sat down and checked out his YouTube channel. But after watching that, I certainly will. And you should too, by the way. If you really enjoy this guy's work, links in the description. Go check him out. And then, if you enjoy my content, remember to subscribe, leave a like down below, and write a comment on what you'd like me to react to next. And if you guys really like this, I will do part 2 through 5. And, yeah. Anyways, folks, till next time, bye-bye.